Welcome to another episode of Random Ish with Sandra. How you doing? What's crack-a-lackin'? Shouts out to everybody who's been watching and telling a friend to check out the podcast. I so appreciate you. I see the numbers growing and I appreciate you so much. We're going to get to the point where, I'm going to have some help, right? You should have seen me trying to mic myself with this dress today. Get to a point where we'll be in another place recording. Hey! And get to the place where we're making that moolah cash money. We're making small coins right now. We're going to get to the big coins, girl. They coming. I ain't tripping. Oh, man, I got some topics to talk to you about this week. A lot of things have happened. I'm just going to leave that there. A lot of things have happened. You ever have one of those times where you're hanging out with people and then something happens that make you go, you know what? I kind of need to rethink my life right now. Yeah, I kind of have one of those moments. I won't be really talking about that, but I will say that it definitely has got me going, it's time to rethink some things. Some things we just going to have to stop doing. So I got for you some other things that we're going to have to stop doing. All right, here's a very important story. Negative thinking is causing an increase in dementia. Yes. So they've got studies. We'll talk about all of that good stuff in a hot second. There's a 12-year-old who has made $400,000 in 2 months on an NFT. Yeah. Oh, I meant to talk to you guys about that a long time ago, but I had to absorb it and get used to it and be like, wow, this 12, yeah, okay. Before we could talk about it without me, you know what I'm saying, showing the in my face. We got the random question from the fishbowl, and it's actually only 2 questions, so it's really this or that. And could we possibly be living in a tunnel? The nerd in me. There's some cool stuff happening out there in the solar system. Nerd in me coming up. And also last month was Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we just heard of a girl being rescued, so we're going to talk about that as well. It's all coming up, random-ish. Okay, and welcome back. So there's a lot been happening, and let's just get right up into it, okay? So here is some good news and bad news, right? So we all know stress is a motherfucker, right? Stress kills. Seriously, it causes all kinds of issues and problems with people and diseases, yo. Did you know that now negative thinking is also topping that list? Listen, actually, I already knew that. Everybody in manifesting community already knows that. The yogis, they all know that, right? Even religious people kind of know that as well. Well, I know. I'm sorry. I know, right? You said, Sandra, you went too far. Back it up. Okay. Well, Healthline has just did a study, or has completed a study, I should say, that has found that negative thinking could possibly have a link to dementia. Now, energy speak, right? My grandmother suffered from dementia, and when I wrote about it a little bit because I kind of wondered, I just had questions. There's been studies about the B12, that, you kind of want to increase your B12 because you stop making it sort of speak after 45 or something like that. There's also been some of when I looked into the neuroplasticity and the neurosciences, Dr. Caroline Leaf talks about how the neuroplasticity, there's parts of the brain that are darkened, and the brain trees are not looking like they're supposed to. But with positive thinking and reinforcement and prayer and meditation, people have been able to do the neuroplasticity and change their brains. And so I think it's really dope that they're finding that there's a connection. So now for the rest of us who, even myself, right? We're positive. We know these things, but life sometimes, oh my God, God. Your past sometimes, oh my God, can definitely make it not that easy to, stay in alignment, especially, with what's been happening, right? But we definitely want to take the time out, loving ourselves, meditating, and learning how to pivot when we're having that negative thinking, because like there's one thing to have negative thoughts, and then it's a whole nother thing when you've had like a chronic negative life, and so those kind of chronic negative thoughts, like I said, science is finding cause disease. Ooh, I can't wait for the episode where I was talking to a retired nurse. Oh, and she's dropping gems, but I'm let me stick to what we're doing in this episode. All right, so that 12-year-old that I was telling you about, he's more creative than the average guy, right? Than the average 12-year-old. He's made $400,000 in 2 months with NFTs. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I've definitely been looking at the stuff online, and I'm like, NFT, dude, I need to learn how to do this. It's coding, and if they can find a way to do it differently, then maybe I could jump right on into that. I coded the website, so I kind of understand HTML, but I definitely do not understand what the heck an NFT is, how it became so valuable. Don't really understand it, but he does. And the whales, it's freaking whales. Yeah, so I know there's a lot of different platforms that are jumping up for people to kind of like get their art digitalized. We're going to move on. And get the value and the information. So again, yeah, it's definitely a new era of the digital currency. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what blockchain is. I understand it's some kind of computing thing, but I'm still trying to figure out what exactly blockchain is and how it's so different, But we're getting there. Ahmed, congratulations with your weird whales, guy. Congratulations.
The Clothesline, world-class service with a personal touch, offering commercial laundering services, wash, dry, and fold with free pickup and drop-off included, dry cleaning services, and coin-op laundry.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. My earrings is matching my little coat and stuff. Wait a minute. Okay, let me stop. Anyways, so this episode, this little segment of Nerd in Me, let me sit down, girl, because for this one, we might have to sit down a little bit. Wait. Okay, so the flat earthers, this is not for you. However, for those who feel like they have a little bit of truth with the are we inside of something? Like is our earth inside of a bubble or inside of a something? Okay, so here's a new wild claim. We are living inside of a tunnel of sorts. Yeah. Life Science is reporting that they are finding some things out there in our galaxies that are making them say, wait a minute, what? The astronomy people are going to be going crazy. So I guess this newfound claim is now waiting for rebuttal from the astronomy community. So what they're saying is that it could be magnetic ropes that are surrounding our solar system. Yep, in our galaxy, there's some magnetized tendrils that are all over the place. I guess back in the 50s, 60s, they found something in the sky and in the north and the south, and they're kind of like, what is this? So apparently this new scientist found some of those old findings and then decided, like, let me think about this. and then looked up some things and found out that, there's actually some structures that are there. And apparently, so they're magnetized tendrils and they are 1,000 light years long. Isn't that crazy? Like, okay, so what's so dope is the other day I was talking to somebody about energy and thought forms and, that there's these things floating around and our frequencies. And, basically I was saying that there's all these different rays. There's microwaves, gamma rays, radio waves, all these different kind of waves that are floating around you like all day. So we think we're just like breathing in oxygen and that there's nothing else there. But there's like matter there that we're like interacting with, right? And then to see this, it was like, law of attraction, bringing me a story of, yes, Sanja, with your little crazy self, there are definitely rays and waves and all kinds of things that you are passing through every single day. So apparently, if we actually could see the radio wave light, then we would be able to see that we're kind of like in a tunnel. So I'll show you the little pictures here. I know, when we look at the pictures, we're like, what? But when you look at the example that they give, then it's like, oh, okay, all right, okay, I see what you're saying. All right, okay, I see what you're saying. All right, so I got one more cool story for you. Did you know that we possibly could have a second moon? They're not really sure. However, there is an object that has been orbiting the moon in a very weird kind of way. They're saying that it's only going to stay in our orbit for another 300 years. That's why they're not actually calling it a moon. But what they are saying is that the material on it, the scientist has been looking at it, and it doesn't seem to be the same as like an asteroid or a meteorite. It actually seems to be very similar to our moon. So maybe it's a piece of chunk of moon or something like that, or maybe we got a second moon, or maybe it's his cousin, or maybe it's, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? So now you know a little bit more about what's going on in our galaxy.
Not to argue with me, I be way too high. She taught me while I'm driving, I'ma get a DUI.
Slide with me, slide with me, get high with me. Know that I like it when you mess with me.
I felt so inspired by what my teacher said. Said I either be dead or be a reefer head. I'm not sure if that's how adults should speak to kids, especially when the only thing I did was speak in class. I teach his ass.
And welcome back to Random Ish with Sanja. Oh, don't you feel a little smarter now? Know some of the things that are happening in our galaxy? Listen, it would be good for Jeopardy. You know what I mean? These are things that we need to know, bruh. I also saw that there's like enough oxygen on the moon for some odd years. Again, just letting you know, they trying to leave us, yo. You better be paying attention. They trying to leave, yo. They trying to leave. We're not gonna let this turn into what movie was that? We're not gonna let this turn into Escape from LA or Mars 2021 or whatever the hell it was. We're not gonna, no. Let me pull it together. Anyway, because we gotta get serious here for a second. So did you guys see the story about this young lady that was just rescued from a possible dangerous situation using the universal distress "I am woman and I need help" signal? Last month was Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I was going to do an episode about that in October. He was like, I don't necessarily really want to go there yet, and did other topics. And then about a week ago, there was a young lady who in Kentucky who's made an international awareness call for all women to make sure that they are taking care of themselves. Here's the story.
Your hand is up like this, then you tuck your thumb in and all four fingers over that thumb and back and forth.
And something just that simple saved this 16-year-old girl.
Well, of course, with any signal, you have to be able to have someone that can interpret what that signal means.
You know, it's crazy because it's 2021 and I'm sure we all would like to think that this is a subject that we don't really need to talk about anymore. However, with this happening with this young girl and then the other young lady that was found and then her boyfriend found later, and nobody really knows exactly what the situation is with that. But again, they were very argumentative with one another. I have survived a domestic violence relationship. I thank goodness that I really haven't been in another one. I've had instances where the red flags come up. I've had some times where it was like, oh, you one of those? Oh yeah, I'm out. You know what I mean? Situation. So I don't want to make it seem like, it was one and done and that, it's never, ever happened again, because it can be, I think, sticky situations for females. But I just saw a statistic of teenagers are experiencing some type of domestic violence in their relationship. What the fuck is up with that? That's what? I know that people sometimes want to think and say and have the opinion that a woman should just leave, and legit had the conversation the other day where a person said, well, she knows how they are, and if she goes back, well, then now who's the dumb one? And I think that sometimes we have that opinion about women who are in these relationships. Because I'm trying to keep this light, sweetie. You know what I'm saying? I'm having flashbacks as I'm having this conversation. And I'm not really trying to relive those days or anything, But I can say from experience that I, too, used to be like, that's so stupid that a woman would say that situation, until I got into it. And there's that whole you love the person thing, and maybe you know their history, maybe they grew up in some fucked up shit, so then you think that you can help them, and that if you just show them love, that or maybe you even do what's worse. Is I think that we all have a tendency to sometimes blame ourselves. Well, maybe you could have said that different, or maybe you should have done something different, or whatever, or even being mad at yourself for being in this situation, and then you feel like you can't, and it just starts a really bad, chain of events. I just want to remind anybody, all women, if you don't know what the distress signal is, again, that if you are in distress, if you're out in public, because I used to really think that if I was out in public, like when we would fight, I really used to think that if like we were outside, or if we were like on the side of the street or something like that, that he wouldn't do anything because there's all these people around. Yeah, no. And especially now with everybody just popping their phones out instead of like doing something, but there is a distress signal. So ladies, make sure you know it. It's where your thumb is out with the palm facing, and then you're going to tuck your thumb and then put your four fingers over your thumb and then let go. So make sure that you just keep that in the back of your head. And God bless all of the women who are with wonderful men who respect women and understand that frustration happens, and you don't need to like raise your hand or get angry. So wait, let me get to the juicy part. Wait, because this is kind of I found it a little funny. So the other day I was listening to a doctor giving a talk, okay? And it was about relationships and keeping things fresh and keeping things new and all of that good stuff, right? And then it went into talking about like relating between men and females, right? Now this is going to be gender specific because of the hormones that are getting secreted, right? basically what this doctor said is for the men, when you guys are upset and you're all like, ah, right? And then you then act on it, you start yelling, you get all aggravated or whatever, whatnot. You think that that's testosterone? You might think that that's you being a man. Honey, I'm here to tell you, the reason that that saying is, that's the bitch in you. Apparently, when men are upset and angry and expressing and yelling and doing all of that good stuff, their estrogen is rising. So fellas, if you want to work on your testosterone for when you get a little older and your nuts start sagging, you know what I'm saying? And you can't go as long as you used to go, and you find that you gaining weight and stuff like that. Apparently, the way to naturally build up your testosterone, or one of the ways anyway, is that to have the hero complex thing going on, right? So next time you and your lady are getting into a fight or whatever, whatnot, and she's making you frustrated, for those of you who don't know how to keep your hands to yourself, you're turning into a bitch. I don't mean to say it like that, but you're turning into a bitch. You're letting the estrogen get into you. So you are literally being a bitch. You're not being a man by hitting a woman or by yelling at a woman or doing any of that. If you really were being a man, and I am speaking specifically your hormones talking, okay? Your hormones is what says that this is true. That when you get upset, if you can problem solve, if you walk away and you think about it and then you come up with a solution, right? Okay? If you find a way of being the hero, then that's what raises up your testosterone, and that's what gives you, your muscles and all of that good stuff, and helps you to be a good-looking older man like George Clooney, just saying. Like Denzel Washington. Okay, all right, okay, because I'm just saying, both of those gentlemen look like when they get angry, you know what I'm saying? They walk away, the girl be like, why you leaving? I ain't done talking to you. And he be like, don't even say nothing. They just put a finger up. And walk away, and then come back when they all nice and calm and everything, and let the woman explain. Because that's the other thing that I heard the doctor was explaining, that when women have the ability to express, if a woman feels safe enough to express, that's what raises up her estrogen. And when she's expressing in that anger, not like rah, 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 but when she's just expressing to you how she feels, and then you're coming in as the hero, being like, babe, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? You got this, or I got this, whatever the situation may be. You know what I'm saying? Because it's case by case scenario. And then that's how the male-female dynamics, you know what I'm saying, as far as the genders are concerned, the testosterone and the hormones, and that's how they play a part off of each other. But when the woman doesn't have the chance to express, right, and that she just has to problem solve and she has to now figure it out, AKA, if you leave, you get all mad, and then you leave and you never come back to solve the situation. You never talk about it again. You just don't handle it, and she's got to figure it out, or you leave her and then she's got to figure it out. That's the real reason why, women are becoming more manly or more masculine, is because of all of the problem solving. Don't nobody take that and try to twist the words, all right? Because we both, men and women, have testosterone and estrogen in both of us. And so, the hormones we want to keep them in balance, So women are going to have times where you're just able to be a woman and express and all of that good stuff. And then there's times that a woman's got to shut the fuck up and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with the guys. Like, there's times that you got to be able to, shut the fuck up and figure it out. And then there's times that you need to be able to come back in and be the hero and you know what I'm saying? And save the day and all that good stuff. And again, don't think, women, I'm not saying that we need a man. I ain't saying that. I'm not saying that. So don't get that twisted. But we definitely need to let men be men. For sure. I'm just saying. Fellas, I love you. I do. But damn, that was deep. Don't forget about, and here's a reminder. Go back and check out the other episode. There's a research done saying that if you guys don't change the way that you eat and the way some of you guys are doing things, half of you ain't even going to be able to produce people by 2045. So I'm just saying, these are some things you want to pay attention to, honey. I do also wonder sometimes if it's the whole, when we are not aware of these things, 'cause I certainly wasn't aware of it until I just heard the doctor talking about it, right? But when I heard him talking about it and I thought about my past relationships, I was like, wow, okay, yeah, so this is where they say, oh, you want to be the man. And I'm like, no, I really don't. Like, I really want you to step up and get it together. You know what I'm saying? But you're not. So I got to figure it out. And now after I heard this, I thought about it and I was just like, wow, yeah, okay. So I can see, you know, how I am not making any excuse for any man that puts his hand on a woman whatsoever. But I can see now where if a man has never been able to cope and problem solve and get it together on his own, if his mother has always been there for him, if somebody has always been there to problem solve for him that he yelled and screamed at, and then whoop, problem was solved, well, no wonder why this fool is acting crazy. And then when he meets a woman, now he wants to try to beat her into submission, you know. Either way it goes, that's not something that I think that loving relationships are supposed to have. Like, I think on both sides, women, keep your hands to yourselves, men, keep your hands to yourselves, and we can all just get along. Okay, so I feel like my mic has like dropped over here. I tried to do a good job miking myself, and yeah, that thing just fell off. So it's somewhere in the dress, so let me go ahead and get this last this or that, because it's really not that random, but random question out of here, and let me go get my laundry. Good question. When you have kids in the house, how do you get it on? Because I'm just saying that in the middle of the night stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's good and all, but you know you like, shh. You get mad when he goes, So my suggestion, if you got kids in the house, you got to send them out. You know what I mean? Send them out to go do something. Make sure you got a house big enough. Soundproof your room or something. Wait till they go to sleep. Most parents, I don't know about you, but when my kid was, you got to get it on in the middle of the day. You have little daytimes. You have little lunch dates. You know, you go and see each other. You know, on your little lunch period, that little afternoon delight. I think that's what that song's really about. It's really about parents trying to sneak it in because they got like 10 kids in the house. So, in my opinion, that's how you do it. When you got kids in the house, you either got to get real quiet, put the soundproof in your rooms, make the appointment, or learn how to be a night owl. Take you a espresso shot about 6 o'clock. you and your mans, you take a little espresso shot about 6 o'clock. Around like 1 o'clock in the morning when the kid's knocked out, you get it in. Oh my God, I'm gonna get on out of here. Oh, I don't miss those days. No. Yeah, no, I don't.